Hello and welcome to the second of 4 sessions of Hearts of Wulin here in March for the Gauntlet Hangouts. Hearts of Wulin is a Powered by the Apocalypse hack to simulate wuxia Chinese dramas, television series primarily. But if you're looking at movies that are a touchstone for this, for the kind of melodrama, certainly Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is one to think of. Hero to a lesser extent, and there are a whole host of others. But this is a game I've worked on. Agatha Cheng and I are developing it. We will be kickstarting it in a couple of months, so we'll have a nice quick start at that point, and we're going to get it all put together so people can play it more, which is what I dig. If you're interested in what this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet online community is out there. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. We have a monthly zine that's associated with a Patreon. We have a free daily blog. We have a number of different podcasts. And now, with the closure of G+, we have developed a set of forums, general gaming forums that you can find out about there at our website. So you can check that out. So we're going to start today, and we're going to start with quick introductions so we can get people repositioned into this, set the stage for this. There is, by the way, significant wind outside, like there's some front moving in. There are rare occasions when that will knock my power out. I'm just going to tell you now, if I vanish, that is what has happened. So I just wanted to tell you that now. Anyway, we are going to start. Peter, I'm going to work my way across this character sheet in that row order today, and give us the 30-second pitch on who Casting Blaze is.
Right, yeah. So Casting Blaze sort of based him off of the sort of Drunken Master archetype, just in the sense that he's sort of the wanderer. He's a bit of a trickster. You never really know what to actually expect from him. He's kind of got himself probably in a little bit over his head, but he's certainly good at improvising on the fly, and we'll just see how well he floats.
Excellent. And Christo, tell us 30-second pitch on Broken Dancer. Okay, I will make you last then. So Chris Newton, give us the 30-second pitch on Delon.
Delon is a hopeful apprentice student who is a member of the Great Sun Society. His master, Peerless Falcon, is a huge jerk, but he doesn't know that and might not accept that until it is put right in front of his face.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he is on his way to meet the magistrate to secure the golden shirt and make sure it stays secured during this entire upcoming ceremony. He is currently leading a large man named Sour Sadness Bear in chains to the magistrate's office for judgment.
And Great Sun Society, that's right. Okay. And they kind of sent you on your own out on this path to learn from the world a little bit.
Yes, this is his biggest solo mission to date, and he is secretly very, very nervous.
And then there's One-Eyed Ming. Joshua, tell me about One-Eyed Ming.
One-Eyed Ming is the unorthodox hidden, which means that her true identity might not come out until later. On the surface, she works for the Revealing Moon sect, just like Broken Dancer, and that is a group of information brokers. The reason she's in the city is because Delon is actually her long-lost sibling. They were separated at birth, and so she is here to find Delon, who she knows about but hasn't seen in probably a very long time. So yeah, she fights with a spear and generally likes to stay out of trouble.
Excellent. Excellent. Christo, are you settled? Okay.
Think so. We'll find out. Had to kill a lot of processes. Okay, so I'm playing Broken Dancer, who is also in the Revealing Moonlight sect. What can I say about her? So, of course, she's a dancer, and that's why she's called the Broken Dancer. She was, with her brother, adopted by a dancing troupe, which was actually a cover for a group of some killed. So that is one of her big pains in her life that I expect is going to be resolved somewhere in these sessions. And let's see, so what else might be relevant? Oh, and of course, so she's a thief. And she does like to masquerade in different outfits to fool people, but that we have not seen that yet. So hopefully I will find an opportunity to do that. Her martial arts style is called Falling Petal, and that's based on the fact of her dance moves. So I expect that in the tradition of these movies, she'll have many moves. She falls and then moves around and stuff like that. So it should be very dramatic.
Excellent. Excellent. We had to robot a little, but I think we got most of that. Let's look at entanglements. That'll help us figure out repositions. Now, one of the things is I noticed when we went through and did the entanglements last time is there was a lot of ambiguity to the genders of characters. We didn't kind of set them weirdly in the process of doing the entanglements. So I did throw some images onto the images tab. If any of those genders are incorrect, it's because when I went back, I couldn't tell which was which. But that is, we can get that worked out. Casting Blaze. Let's look at your entanglements real quick. Tell me what those are.
Right, yeah. Okay. So, my romantic one is I fled from Zhang Copper because of the heartache, but Moonsworn Heart, his lover, has called me back to honor a debt. And my general entanglement is that I've learned my friend Delan has been betrayed by his teacher, Peerless Falcon, but he'll never believe me.
Excellent, excellent. So let me check here. So it looks like Zheng is male, and Moonsworn Heart is female. So there's an easy solution to that. This is me moving those images in and swapping them on the images tab there. There we go. Excellent. Are you happy with both of those?
Yeah. It kind of puts me in some interesting. I definitely like the general one because I got to interact with that last time. So I like kind of this like, oh, I have to say something, but I can't. The romantic one, I don't think I have too much of a preference yet because it hasn't come up. Once it does, I'll be able to figure it out.
So one of the things I want to sort of behind the curtain here, the reason we stop and check in with the entanglements at the start is sometimes NPCs die, things change, relationships change. So I always we'll always give people an opportunity at the beginning of sessions to rewrite those, change those around, that kind of thing.
Got it.
We're also going to check in with you. You get to highlight one of those, and what that means is if you highlight one, you kind of point to one you'd like to try and lean into. We'll try and do that. And you get a little more XP if you encounter that one than you do for the other one. So of those two, which one are you most interested in?
Definitely the romantic one.
Romantic one. Okay. Zhang Copper. All right. Thank you so much. Broken Dancer. Let's look at your entanglements. I'm going to mute that.
Okay.
Oh, do you want me to go ahead and start? Okay. My two entanglements are, well, I've got my general entanglement is that my teacher, Peerless Falcon, has passed me over in favor of Jia, my rival. My romantic entanglement is that I love Broken Dancer, but my teacher, Peerless Falcon, killed someone dear to them, their twin brother Yin, during a training session.
And so, Broken Dancer, you know? Do you think if you've had encounters with you've worked with them before?
I think so. I think like when Yin was in training, I think that at that point maybe, and if Krista is okay with this, I think at that point they encountered each other and maybe spoke briefly. Nothing very deep or anything like that. And I think it stuck with Delon a lot more than it did Broken Dancer. In addition, Broken Dancer has these really harsh feelings toward Peerless Falcon.
Excellent.
Regarding the training incident.
And are you happy with both of theirs as they are right now?
Oh, I love them because they make Peerless Falcon into a spectacular jerk, and that just is going to make it so much sweeter later on.
Okay. And which one do you want to highlight?
Let's see. I think it would be interesting at this point to highlight the rivalry bit with Jia.
Okay.
Maybe have them show up at some point.
Sure, we will get them on screen. Okay. Excellent. Then One-Eyed Ming. Let's look at your entanglements.
All right. So my romantic entanglement is that I love casting Blaze, but their family member, Withering Gaze, has sworn revenge against me.
All right.
And then my general is that my sibling, Delon, and I were separated at birth, and Peerless Falcon raised them to destroy my clan.
Excellent. And we know that Withering Gaze is part of this Frost Hearth palace, maybe knows those techniques. And of course, you mentioned about Delon earlier. Which of those do you want to highlight for today?
I think I'm going to highlight the general one with Delon because that's what I came to the city for. So I think that makes sense.
Absolutely. And then let's swing back to Broken Dancer.
Yes. So the two entanglements Broken Dancer has are my friend Casting Blaze and I vie for the attention of Zheng Copper, despite their indifference to both of us. And then the general one is my clan senior Silver Song suspects that my friend One-Eyed Ming works against our faction.
And has certainly, last time, Ming did not necessarily give you any signs that they were not involved in nefarious things, right?
No, but wait, wasn't it Ming that threw the...
You don't know. You never saw that. You never saw that Ming threw that, and he just happened to be there when all of this went down. Very suspicious.
Okay. Yeah, but I would like to I'd like to highlight the romance one this time
Sure.
around.
Absolutely.
Because I think we'll get Jen Copper going here.
So, Broken Dancer, as I recall correctly, you and Ming had met with the daughter of the magistrate, whose name eludes me right this second.
I don't know if we had one for her.
Oh,
Her name was Harmonious Fox.
Harmonious Fox. Thank you.
Right, that's right. And I was calling her Glorious Fox.
That's right.
And I think Broken Dancer will continue that, sort of ignoring the name and thinking that this one is a better one.
And she has convinced the lieutenant that you and Ming are on the up and up, and that you rescued her from these brigands, and that you need to be taken to her father's house in order to give you the proper honors and respect. Lieutenant's more like you need to be questioned, but she's clearly seeing that as an honor. And I think both of you agreed to go along.
Of course, it gets us closer to the golden shirt.
Absolutely. And then just to remind myself of the position here, and I think you sort of hinted at this a little bit, Delon. Delon, you are currently escorting Sour Sadness Bear, this enormous Wulin warrior who was apparently assigned to attack you. You sent away his followers. Well, you had help, and you've captured him, and you are taking him into the town for handing over to the magistrate. Am I correct on that?
Yes, and Delon sincerely wishes he could thank that nameless traveler who assisted him in the tavern, but who fled before he could express his gratitude.
Absolutely. And that nameless traveler, whose name is Casting Blaze, fled from the scene when the emotions got the better of them and took off. Though they had helped with the incident there, and they had noted that this whole thing, what went on with Sour Sadness Bear, may have been a plot of those Thunders, that there was some suspicion on that there was this large notable band of Wuxia brigands who are out there calling themselves the Thunders.
Yeah, I think that happened as a result of like a 7 to 9 during the duel. I think I like the gather information option.
I think that came around during that.
Yeah.
So let's actually start with poor Casting Blaze. Casting Blaze is originally also as being wounded. I think the only people who should have marks. I think Casting Blaze has metal one-eyed Ming.
Never mind. I get what it is. It's so when there's a check mark in that box, then we're wounded, correct?
That is correct. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a drop down. Yeah, because I love these new check boxes they've got in the Google Sheets. They're sweet. They're also conditionals, but I've never had anything that I could do that with. But anyway, I should do that. I should change it to a conditional. Anyway, let me see. Casting Blaze, you fled from Delon. You took off, and you had seen Peerless Falcon, and you also saw Peerless Falcon take off. So clearly, there's something weird going on with that. So where would you take yourself in the aftermath of that, knowing what you know about Peerless Falcon, about Delon, about these Thunders, about the possible mischief that is happening in the city? What would you do?
I'm trying to think. Man, it's funny because in my head I was like, I'm going to collaborate with everyone and figure this out, but I'm like going solo for this bit.
For this bit, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Well, let's frame this even a little bit tighter.
Sure.
You are a trickster, a man of the road, someone who knows about life. And yes, by the way, in most of these films, it is merely the town or merely the village or merely the city. So I always refer to it in that way. So when you arrive at a new place, what do you usually do? Do you have a pattern for your arrivals?
I mean, yeah. So I think for me, it's. I think it's almost this typical thing where, like, if I pass through a town and no one seems to either necessarily react to my presence or something bad doesn't go down, then I think I just pass through on my way, and just, I kind of figure if the timing is right, then the timing is right and I'm there. But I think usually what I end up doing is just kind of going, I think I actually probably go to whoever's in charge and just sort of offer my help, considering that I'm passing through.
So, I mean, in this city, would you go to the magistrate's office to speak with them?
You know, I think I would, and I think in some way after kind of dealing with that emotional whatever that was earlier, I think it would probably be a good idea to get some just solid ground in terms of like, here's what I should do next, and that might help.
So you kind of like a kind of a freelance investigator, a freelance helper. I mean, that your trickster is about knowing lots of things in that way. How do you picture your role in your life in the Wulin society?
So because of the trickster nature, I think that I never necessarily advertise myself as one specific thing. I see what people need help with and sort of adapt to, oh, well, I happen to be able to do that, or I happen to be good at that, and just kind of, no one. And it's also a nice way because it keeps changing that people can't really necessarily go, oh, that's the same person from city to city, village to village.
Excellent. So you will arrive at the magistrate's household. There is all kinds of hustle and bustle. Like you've heard that things were happening here, and you've heard rumor of this artifact. But clearly, there's a bunch of things going on here, and the people are somewhat frazzled. But you present yourself, and do you give your own name, or do you have another name that you give?
I do have another name that I give. The name I give is to people who I don't necessarily need to know me very well. I give the name Chao, Chao.
Okay. And through talking and presentation, you'll be brought in to meet with Magistrate Yun. And Magistrate Yun is there and is, much shorter than you would expected. It looks like his predecessor must have been very tall because he's got a big table. Like the desk that he has is very high. And so he just gets over the table here. But he's got his official stamp and seal and such. And he will say, yes, you have business here. What is it you needed?
I was wondering if you needed any assistance here.
Assistance? What do you mean? What do you mean? Who are you? Who are you precisely? What's your nature and things? So what is it? What is it?
They call me Chow, and the nature of my business is whatever nature it needs to be.
I'm not sure that could be more vague. But what is it you want? What is it you need?
I need very little. I want to help.
And he regards you with a little air of suspicion. And I think this is the point at which we do, because you're able to wheedle past his defenses in this because you're a trickster. So let's have you roll hearts and minds to try and convince him that, yes, you are someone he needs to have on his payroll or in his network to help him, prevent these future crimes.
Okay. I will go ahead and roll with water.
Excellent.
Okay. Is there a roll for your party link?
I believe it is the bottom of the basic moves, and I'm going to paste it in the thing here.
Okay, cool. There it is. Yes, and my roll from last time.
Oh yeah, snake eyes.
Yeah.
Isn't it great to come back and see that just sitting there waiting for you.
It genuinely cannot get worse. Yeah. It can't get much better though. So I'm gonna go ahead. That's a 5.
That is a 5. So he looks at you and he says, I have been instructed by the governor to act with some discretion during this. We are looking for a certain bandit that is in the area that has been rumored to be coming, and we are worried about that. And so I have been instructed to have anyone who is suspicious locked up. And you strike me as suspicious. So, for the safety of all concerned, gentlemen, take him away. And a couple of the guards here will move to essentially like hoist you up and take you and throw you into the local jail.
Well, that's unfortunate. Can I stop them?
Sure. What do you want to do? I mean, you get a couple of choices here. You could fight them, or you could simply try and get away.
I think I just want to try and get away, but like not too far away.
Okay.
So just kind of like, oh, okay, I need to come at this from a different angle.
Sure. Let's have you roll overcome.
Okay.
Because you're definitely not wanting to hurt them, and somehow this guy is way running tighter than he ought to.
Okay. Okay, so really quick, because I know I rolled with water and I technically failed. I don't mark anything, do I?
You only mark if I add that as part of the hard move.
Got it. Okay. Cool. So then I will go ahead and yeah, I'm gonna roll with fire because speed. Make haste. Yeah, so that's again +1. And there we go. That's a 9.
That is a 9. So I will say that you can get away. You know, and in the commotion, you know, there's some shouting and stuff. However, on screen we see you heading away just as Broken Dancer and One-Eyed Ming come in, and your paths don't cross.
Oh, okay. Oh, fine. I mean, I have to take it. Or yeah. So, oh man, I was looking forward to that meetup.
Oh, you'll get it, but we'll set the stage on that a little bit more. Broken Dancer, One-Eyed Ming. There's some commotion at the magistrates, and the lieutenant kind of goes rushing forward and then comes back and he says, "I apologize. There's a small delay. Magistrate Yoon, there was a vagabond who attempted to insert himself into the magistrate's household. We are dealing with that right now, and if you could wait just a moment."
And how unfortunate. Where would you like us to wait?
And the harmonious fox goes, "Please, oh, you'll come to my garden. You'll come to my garden, please." And grabs onto clothing and starts dragging you essentially into her a part of the household there.
Okay, Broken Dancer will laugh coyly and go along with it. But One-Eyed Ming is one, and look askance at One-Eyed Ming to find out, does One-Eyed Ming want to come? Is that or was that her plan all along? I don't assume that she was spreading it intentionally to cover One-Eyed Ming to invite also.
I think you and One-Eyed Ming kind of lock glances, and I'm trying to judge if you want me to intrude on your time with Harmonious Fox or
not. Let's see, what would be more interesting? I think she'll indicate, I've got this, and go with Harmonious Fox.
Okay, then One-Eyed Ming will stay behind. Perhaps turn to the lieutenant and say, I hate to presume, but I do have certain talents. If there's anything that I can do to assist the situation, I am at your service.
The magistrate is very, very nervous because there have been a number of odd characters, and he says it with some deliberation as he's looking at you around here, and he is very worried, and we have been given specific instructions to be on the lookout for anyone out of the ordinary. Would you describe yourself as that?
Oh, certainly not. I mean, Surely you've heard of the Revealing Moonlight sect. We are harmless information brokers, dealing in only the most mundane things, business and mercantiles, that kind of thing. We
All
bring
right.
no trouble where we go.
All right. I want you to roll hearts and minds now.
Perfect. While I'm looking that up,
Yeah.
could you tell me how I can get rid of my marked chi?
Oh, so you just click in the box again to clear it. Ba-bum. No, how you do it? So there are two ways to actually mechanically get rid of it during the course of a game. One is the comfort and support action done by someone else can be used to clear that condition. The other one is if you have a moment that you can kind of describe a scene of recovery or a scene where you have a moment to yourself to meditate. That is also a way to clear a marked chi as well.
All right, awesome. I'm going to roll with Earth.
Okay.
I got a 9.
9. So I think that he remains suspicious of you. Like that's the cost. Is he is still wary of you, but the magistrate's daughters having brought you in means that he can't act on it right now. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I like that. So he's not going to throw me out or anything else, but he's not
Right.
really going to bring me in all the way either.
Yeah. And as that is as happening, as Ming is kind of waiting, and she brings you to her garden to speak, and the servants will come, and she's like, "Please, tell me where you hail from."
Oh, it's so kind of you to take an interest in me, but it's really not interesting. I think what is more interesting about me is what I can do, my talents.
Oh,
you see,
well, I saw your art in out there, and I certainly it was. I can't quite finish your sentence.
That's only part of what I can do. I'm actually more known for my dancing.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Oh, that's so kind of you. I don't know. I would need to freshen up before I
No,
can do anything
not
like
now.
that.
Certainly, no. I don't want to put you out or anything. But just, I'm sure if you were to say to my father that you are a dancer, he would love to see you perform.
Oh, that's so kind of you. It would be such an honor to perform for the magistrate.
Well, I will speak to him of that shortly.
Only if it's no inconvenience. I do not want to put you in a bad situation or impose in any way. You've already been too kind.
Absolutely. I don't. You have no need to worry.
And meanwhile, Broken Dancer is scouting out, looking for expensive items that she might be able to steal.
Oh yeah, this is the magistrate's household. You've kind of come into towards the inner sanctum, so certainly there are lots of small things here to pilfer of all kinds. Everything is splendidly done in golds and reds and satins and silks throughout here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's come to Delon. Delon, you are hauling Sour Sadness Bear in, and as you come in, you will see a woman, a female Wulin, clearly waiting there. Now, here's the important question I have. Ming, I know that you know what Delon looks like, that you're looking for him. Delon, do you know what One-Eyed Ming looks like? Have you met One-Eyed Ming before?
I would like to say we've perhaps met in passing, but I'm certain Delon has no idea that she is his elder sister. He has absolutely no clue.
As it happens, as you are bringing this gentleman in, oh, look at this, another robocall. Hang on one second. Wow, that was just a wrong number where they started babbling. I hadn't had that for a while. In any case, Delon, you see one of your wuxia colleagues, someone that you've met in the past, that you crossed paths with, who seems to be attending and waiting there, sort of at the outside of the magistrate's chambers. What would you do, Delon?
One question.
Sure.
Does Delon know her as One-Eyed Ming, or is there some other identity?
That's a good question. Ming?
Yes, I think you would know her as One-Eyed Ming.
Okay, and I think he notes and he nods to her as he approaches and says, "Greetings, Ming. I did not expect to see you here."
I think it would be appropriate for me to roll inner conflict at this
Oh,
point.
yeah. I think you look up and completely unexpectedly, they're right there with a big lumbering bandit with them. So, yeah, what do you want to roll that inner conflict with?
Let's see here. And this totally caught me off guard. So let's do water, which I don't have any bonus with, but that just makes it better. I got an 8.
So you have a choice here. You can mark your water and lose use of it, but hold yourself there steady. Or you can need to flee from the scene.
Oh, that's hard. I think One-Eyed Ming turns to Delon, and Delon, if you're paying attention at all, you see kind of this, single eye widen, and she says, "Oh, Delon, excuse me," and she just turns around and says, "Broken dancer, broken dancer," and runs off towards Harmonious Fox and Broken Dancer.
And I think at that point, Delon just suddenly straightens. It's like, Broken Dancer's here. What?
Would you follow, or would you stay here? What's your?
He doesn't really want to drag Sour Sadness Bear to see Broken Dancer. That's
if you have
definitely
business, you could just go. You could just leave me here.
No, I appreciate your cooperation, but he instead motions for one of the attendants at the house of the magistrate.
Okay.
To announce his presence.
All right, and you will called, and you will be essentially brought into the queue for business here. Because there's all kinds of things going on, so you are having to cool your heels a little bit here. Ming is having to kind of try and find her way back to where Broken Dancer is at. Casting Blaze, how do you arrive on the scene?
So first off, I think because I've escaped, and I was thinking of possibly getting the chance to take a moment to myself and relieve myself of my chi blocking or whatever. So I think, I fled out of there as fast as I could, and basically rounded a corner, rounded another corner, climbed a wall and got up as high as I could, just in case they were like trying to follow me on the ground only. And I think once I just kind of get a chance to myself, I'm just like taking a deep breath, hands on my knees, and just kind of like, that usually works better. They usually like the smile and the vagueness. And then I think I'm just going to kind of like sit down for a moment and close my eyes and try and center myself, because I realize that I haven't taken that time or chance since the incident. And I think,
and I think that you will clear your metal, but you're awoken by someone calling your name, Casting Blaze.
My name or the name I gave?
Your name, Casting Blaze.
Oh boy. Okay. I'll turn and look in that direction.
And you will see approaching, like maybe a little bit bothered that you didn't come and immediately find her.
Oh no.
You will see Moonsworn Heart.
Oh no, that's what.
The woman who sent for you needed you to come to help, and you arrived, and she finds you sitting on a wall. She says, Casting Blaze.
Moonsworn Heart?
Are you recently arrived?
Very recently. Just getting my bearings before officially arriving.
I had asked that you would come to see me. There are important matters.
Understood. Well, I'm here now. Just big smile on his face.
She says, I am sorry that I had to drag you back here, but you were the only person that I could think of to help me. And I did save you before, and so I've come to call on that favor. But I don't think it's necessarily one that you will object to, because you and I and Zhang are all friends.
Yes, certainly. There is that friendship. Yes.
My betrothed Zhang, after our engagement was announced, we have heard rumors that someone seeks to murder Zhang.
I'm glad you called me.
Zhang has always been too open with his attentions and his heart and his generosity, and I have tried to convince him that he must be more careful and more cautious, given that we know this threat is here. I need you to act as a bodyguard, to stay close to him.
That sounds like a very good idea.
Excellent. Well, I will tell him you were here, and certainly we will see that chambers are made ready for you. You will stay with us, of course, in the household. You shall want for nothing while you are here.
That is certainly much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. And she tells you the place. We will come later today, and we will have a wonderful meal.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
And she will head off, leaving you a little bit shaken, I assume.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man.
Now, you only counted one leg of that triangle, so I didn't push for the inner conflict on that. It's when we see the third leg of the stool that may be an issue.
Okay, great. Yeah, sounds wonderful. I won't roll yet, but
All
I'm
right.
sure I will later.
Broken Dancer, you are entertaining this young woman and keeping her attentions while picking out all the things you're going to be putting in the inner linings of your jacket and shirts throughout this. When you will hear someone kind of calling your name, a little broken voiced, and you will see One-Eyed Mink kind of pushing their way through the household to find you.
Through the household.
Essentially, they took you. She took you back to this garden, and he was sorry. She was still out front, so she has had to kind of find her way back to where you are.
Is it a house? So is it sort of like it has a central garden and rooms around it? Is that sort of the idea?
I like that. Yeah, let's say that.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we were in the garden at one point, but maybe she gave me a tour of the house. Somehow I managed to convince that. And so then One-Eyed Ming's so I must recognize One-Eyed Ming's voice if I hear her calling.
Being a little louder than you would have expected.
And I think she'll use that opportunity to touch Harmonious Fox on the shoulder and say, "Wait, I think that must be my friend."
Well, and she will let us go find your friend.
And I'll let my hand linger just a little bit too long.
Okay. She shivers, and then she gets her mind together and she says, "Yes, let's find your friend." And Ming, your paths will cross with Broken Dancer there.
I think I am looking the other way and turn the corner and like bump into Harmonious Fox. And kind of push Harmonious Fox into Broken Dancer a little bit.
She stays in the lean a little too long before she pulls herself back.
Well, Harmonious Dancer plays into that, of course, and probably I think Harmonious Dancer might even fake a fall, so that it's even a closer tumble as far as that goes. But it's all actually controlled. It's for looks.
A very controlled dip/fall.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my goodness! Please excuse me, Harmonious Fox, to do this in your household. I forgive me for being so rude, but I was just outside and something came over me. I was overwhelmed. I think perhaps I need some refreshment from my travels. Forgive me for asking.
What? Oh, yes. Refreshments. I will call the servants to have tea and wine brought.
And I think Broken Dancer will help Harmonious Fox up and brush her off, and straighten her hair, like a stray hair probably got into her face, and say, "I'm so sorry."
Full puppy eyes at that point.
Yes, exactly. "I'm so sorry that happened. That's so embarrassing. It must have been something very, very traumatic for Ming to act this way. Ming is always so stoic."
Oh, well, you must help your friend.
I appreciate that. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience, but I'm sure after your travels, you also need time to freshen up for the evening.
Oh, yes, and I have to get my father to speak with you.
Oh, that would be wonderful, but that is not necessary.
All right.
Don't want to, and I think grab Ming under the arm and pull Ming back out into the garden.
Okay. Ming, you finally get a moment alone here with Broken Dancer to explain the situation. What do you tell them?
Broken Dancer, I assume you're here on official business. For the Moonlight Sect, of course.
Of course. Yes, of course. Of course. Why else would I be here?
Yes. Me too, of course. I assume you're here for the golden shirt?
Yes. If we were to speak openly about it, it is that is an item of definite interest, although I think this place has much potential.
Oh, I do as well. You know, in our line of work, it's never the number one item that really brings the biggest prize, is it? It's always the things to the side, the things that that no one will remember.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I didn't intend to see you here, but now that you are, I mean, as always, we make a good team, don't you think?
Definitely. What do you have in mind?
Well, I think the more we can gather, the more useful we will be to the magistrate and anyone else who could potentially be in a position to reward us for our services.
Interesting. You're going to have to explain this in a little more detail.
Well, you know how these things go. I feel it's always such a tangled web. And I feel like the more we can learn per our training in the revealing moonlight sect, and even bringing in information from our past, surely we could be of use to the magistrate and return to the sect with even more money, even more information. Silver Song rewards us well, I would say.
I think that could be I'm sure Silver Song would definitely appreciate any information or valuable items that you might be able to bring to her. That might really help. I could support that. I think that would be a good move. What do you think of us setting up a distraction at a dance this evening?
I think that's a wonderful idea. I could really use a distraction.
And what I'm hoping is that we already know who the people that are guarding the shirt are. I'm not sure if they were any of the people we've already met. I don't think so.
No, that'd be a study move, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what we need. So we need to know the guards and make sure that some of them, preferably the leader, is at the dance.
Yeah, I think at this moment, Broken Dancer, with your wonderful perception, you notice that One-Eyed Ming has been nursing her arm, and it looks like she injured it on the road somehow. You know.
Wait, what is that? How did you get injured?
Oh, you know, these old shoulders don't work as well as they used to. In that moment, One-Eyed Ming kind of gives kind of a grimace. She looks older than she normally does for a moment, and she comes back up to full height. It's just a weary life sometimes. I've been at this a while.
You're not telling the whole story, and I can see that, but I respect you. Do you need any assistance? Do you need perhaps do you need help in stretching, or what can I do to help you?
I think just your presence here is a salve. I am so happy to see you, and us working together always brings me joy.
I feel like we're giving golden. What is it that they call the dreams to each other?
Yes. Well, let's cut from there, and we'll come back to you doing study moves to case the joint, as it were. But let's come to Delon. Delon, you arrive. You have this character in tow. They will take him to the jail, and he is a known bandit figure. And you will be brought to see Magistrate Yun.
I think Delon appears, formally greets the magistrate. Magistrate Yun, I am Delon of the Great Sun Society. My master, Peerless Falcon, had referred me to you.
Yes, your master, Peerless Falcon. Very well respected, very well regarded within the society. It is an honor to have a chance to interact with him. and so on, and that he is assisting, that you are assisting, that everyone is assisting with the protection of these items is magnificent, and certainly I have far less worries than I might have otherwise. Your master speaks very very highly of you, and that is most excellent. And I understand that he has also sent along his #1 student, Jia, who will be helping.
He flinches a little at that and says, "It will be good to see Jia again. He is indeed a."
Oh, he is here.
Oh, he has already arrived.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. He said that as befits a skilled warrior, it is best to arrive early and without distractions, and so he has been here for a while.
That is very good. I wish to inform you, in addition to the capture of Sour Sadness Bear, the bandit leader, I believe that he may also be involved with this group that calls itself the Thunders. He mentioned them. He mentioned some involvement with them.
I have heard that the Thunders are in the area, that they seek the golden shirt, but also that there are other bandits, not bandits, but thieves, including a legendary thief who has been heard that she might be in this area. So we must keep our eyes open. We must keep them wide.
Indeed. Who is this legendary thief?
I do not know her name, but she is said to be a master of getting in places, and able to slide in wherever she wishes, and an artist of some kind.
Does sound very difficult to discern who she would be. For in any great event like this, there will be many legitimate and true artists who appear to provide the entertainment and celebrate the occasion.
Exactly. But you have companions with you, who I assume, like you, are noble and just, and will also help with the protection.
I shall endeavor to assemble them. Your Gia has obviously already arrived, so you've already becoming acquainted with what our society can offer.
Yes,
and I will gather what additional forces may be needed, and I will confer with Gia and be assured that we will provide all the security that will be necessary beyond your own guards and existing security measures, which I'm sure are very stringent indeed.
Yes, they are. We're very careful. We think through these things. Yes. Well then, Master Delana, I will take care of Sailor Satisfair, have him detained, and we will put our traps and plans into order so as to make sure that no harm comes to anyone, and that the golden shirt is well protected during the time here.
And I think at this point, I lean in just a little and whisper.
Oh.
It came to my attention.
Yes.
This group, the Thunders, may be attempting to disguise themselves in order to gain closer proximity to the golden shirt, perhaps disguising themselves even as guards.
Interesting.
So it is.
Wow. Do you think you could spot such a disguised person?
It is not. That unfortunately is not in my area of expertise. I am a straightforward warrior, but I do have individuals that I can speak to who may have those skills and may be able to bring them to bear on our behalf.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing you in action, Master Delan, and of course the seeing your seniors in action as well.
Indeed, I sincerely hope that my actions are not necessary and the entire thing goes off perfectly as you've planned it.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I will have rooms made up for you here. So my daughter's around here somewhere. She has some friends that arrived, so we'll see about that.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And I will endeavor to gather my group, and we will begin our operations. And if it becomes necessary, we will certainly update you on our progress.
Absolutely. So I want to check in with Casting Blaze, and then I want to do the study moves, possibly, or other moves that we have with Ming and Dancer, and then bring Ming, Dancer, and Delon into contact potentially there. So Casting Blaze, you have been put on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think at this point it's just, I mean, I'm gonna follow Moonsworn Heart back to wherever I need to be quarters wise, and I mean, you know, I'm certainly leading with my heart and not my head at this point, because my head is going, "You're an idiot."
and of course, Moonsworn Heart has done very well for Zhang Copper, and has been able to provide from their family's wealth a beautiful household that you're invited into. There's the entryway. There are servants who open the gates for you and let you in, and you come in, and there's the sort of entry hall and chairs and so on, and you will see Zhang Copper will see you, and he's so happy to see you, and he comes rushing forward to embrace you and says, my dearest friend, Casting Blaze. Moonsworn Heart did not tell me that you were coming. Why did you not send word?
You know me. I very, very infrequently send word ahead of me. I simply arrive where I need to be.
And you are needed here. This is a moment of joy. This is most excellent. Come in. I cannot tell you how pleased I am to see you again.
I certainly can't tell you either.
And Moonsworn Heart will say, I will see to the meal. You two sit and catch up, and then all three of us old, good, true friends will sit and talk.
I look forward to that. Yes, let's.
And Zhang says, how are you? What brings you here? Moonsworn Heart has not filled your head with some misbegotten notions of some threat to me, has she?
I wouldn't say filled my head. She hasn't had the time, but if she worries for your safety, then it is probably best that I do as well.
You and she are like mother hens. There is nothing to worry about. It's mere rumors and frippery. Do not worry. You will stay. You will make yourself at home. You will entertain, and we will all speak as to one another.
Certainly. And if there is suddenly a danger to be had, then at least I won't be around to assist.
There is no danger to be had. There is no threat whatsoever.
Threats aren't always what they appear to be on the outside.
And let me ask you this then, since we're kind of in this place where maybe I don't know if you want to do a study move, or a hearts and minds or something off of that, or do you think you're just so kind of jumbled up?
So I'd like to roll a study move.
Okay.
I I don't know if the Hearts and Minds hasn't quite like.
Yeah.
So okay.
What would you
Yeah.
roll with to kind of get a read on the situation?
Right. So yeah, I think I'm gonna roll with water
Okay.
for awareness. So there's a +1. All right, that's an 8.
That is an 8. So you get 1 hold that you can spend to ask a question, learn someone's scale, or make a declaration.
Okay.
Lowell, is learning somebody's scale, is that what's meant to be then used so that you can develop a technique against somebody that's higher than you?
Well, it's to help you decide whether you want to fight someone. You need to, before you can develop a new technique to even the scale, you need to either fight them or see them fight. But the scale is the mechanic that kind of works in that. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll ask a question
Sure.
about him. Just intention-wise, is he actually happy to see me?
He is very happy to see you as a friend. Completely as a friend. He considers you like a brother.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Now I think we're doing inner conflict.
Oh, absolutely. Because the minute I realized that, can't we just be friends? I don't know. Can we just, or should I we're gonna have some serious. Okay, so yeah, I think I definitely am rolling inner conflict. Roll
And of course,
anything.
the good thing is because we're doing a short-term game, anytime you roll inner conflict, you get to mark XP.
Oh, well, that's the fantastic part. Besides just the rife with emotional drama that this presents. So roll with anything but my style element. So I'll go with fire
Okay.
for passion. So come on. That's a 9.
It's a 9. So you have a choice. You can mark fire and keep yourself together, or you will flee out of his house, insulting his hospitality.
I mean, just the way you phrase that, I gotta mark fire. I gotta keep it together because I'm not like I'm gonna be able to figure my way through this. I'm gonna be able to be seen as more than just like a brother or a lamp.
And of course, Moonsworn Heart, his true love, arrives back and sits, and you can tell it's going to be a long meal, a long evening, a long meal.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long everything.
Let's come back to Broken Dancer and One-Eyed Ming, who are casing the joint, I think is the phrase used. So which of you wants to start with a move? Is it a comfort and support? Is it something else? Is it a study move? What are we doing here?
I think it's going to be comfort and support because I think
Okay, you kind of set that up last time.
Yeah, we started that, and I think Broken Dancer's going to say we cannot do official business if your arm is hindering you. That could endanger us. So let me take a look at it.
Let's have you roll comfort and support. What do you roll that with?
Let's see, what would that be? Creativity speed. Blah, 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 blah. If we say this is me trying to do something physical, I'm thinking it's not fire then. I guess it might be metal, actually.
Sure.
Control, calculation, reflection. Okay, I had to think about that. So that's a +1 for me. So that's an 8.
That is an 8. So they may clear chi or add a bond with you.
Oh, interesting choice.
What do you wish to do?
I think I'm gonna clear the chi just
Okay.
because it worries me that I can't fight right now.
Yes. So, what is your massage? Describe to me. Is it acupuncture? Is it heavy shiatsu? Is it something else? Do you look like Zatoichi working over the arm?
No, I imagine it's slow stretching.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm assuming the injury was, I don't remember what the injury was. I don't think it was a knife wound or anything like that, was it? Or was it ever defined?
No, this was me throwing out my arm to break the tree.
So I think it's probably, maybe it's just me pushing your arm back into its socket or something like that. Yeah. And so that's, she sets it up with some like graceful, soft moves, doing a nice soft massage. And then all of a sudden she just whaps you and pushes it in. And then holds you to say, it's okay, it's all over. It's all better. Okay, let's go.
And so that will clear. You'll be able to clear your metal and feel your chi flows align themselves again, such that you can concentrate. You feel your style. That you can keep that precision that you need for that. And then what are you going to do then, Ming?
Well, Broken Dancer, I think as you suggested, while you are distracting them, I'm sure there will be no difficulty with you dancing beautifully. We can use that as a way for me to spend some time studying, so to speak.
But before we do that, we have to know who to study. We have to find out who the guards are.
I see. You're saying we should study before we study.
Mm-hmm. This is a multi-step study.
Yes, planning is important. So I think I would like to study.
Absolutely, Ming. Why don't you go ahead and what does this look like? What I mean, is it just you watching the place? Is it you talking to people? What do we see?
I think One-Eyed Ming is much more of a observer than a interactor, and
Okay.
I think Broken Dancer and One-Eyed Ming probably are both walking the premises, since we kind of have a little bit of, or at least Broken Dancer has a little bit of leeway around here at the moment.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll.
And can Broken Dancer assist?
Yeah, and you'll do that after the roll.
Okay.
Okay. Gonna roll with Earth.
Mm-hmm.
A 9.
That is a 9. Now you could assist if you wanted with a support action and make your roll, and essentially you would create a bond that you'd burn immediately that would give them a +1.
I have a bond with Ming.
Oh, so you could just burn that and push it up without having to roll.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay.
And is there a negative consequence for burning a bond?
Nope. All it is that a bond represents that you have some energy and a connection and an emotion there, and you use the energy up for the moment. You can certainly reestablish that bond later.
Okay. And what I expect this would be is probably Broken Dancer. She's probably changed into more elegant clothing after the ride, after coming to town. And so this is probably at key moments, she'll be distracting the guards or anybody else so that Ming can go deeper in or get a better view or not be seen.
Absolutely. So Ming, why don't you tell me, you've got 2 hold here. You can ask questions, establish scale, make declarations. The world is your oyster.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So the first thing I want to ask, and One-Eyed Ming feels a little bit bad about this, but I'm going to spend part of this to find out where Delon is going to be staying, what room he's going to be in.
So you will find that Delon certainly the magistrate is setting him up in honored chambers, not as honored as others because we will hear that his fellow senior Jia is here as well, though hasn't apparently arrived yet. Peerless Falcon is apparently going to be here soon too.
Of course, Peerless Falcon.
Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yes, that's a perfect answer. Man. Well, I think to further this interaction with Broken Dancer, I would like to know where the golden shirt is being kept.
So the golden shirt is currently being kept by Zheng Copper. And the one that is here is a dummy, is a decoy made to draw away. And that's concealed in the vaults of the magistrate.
So there is a vault on premise.
Yes, with a fake golden shirt.
Perfect. That's perfect.
So, Delon, you finished up with the magistrate, and you will be brought in, and you will see Ming, who you know, right? But then also Broken Dancer, who you haven't seen in some time. And Harmonious Fox goes, Broken Dancer, Ming, she can't bring herself to call you One-Eyed Ming. So, Ming, this is Delon. Delon is of the Great Sun Society, who is serving as a guard here. He is going to protect the golden shirt.
And he greets her formally.
Oh, yes, I'm sure he will. Delon, it is good to see you. There's a bit of a stiffness about her, but it's good to see you, Delon, and I know that you're going to protect the golden shirt well. You have a reputation that precedes you. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you as well, and thank you. Broken Dancer, I did not realize you would be attending this event as well. It is very good to see you again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to see you, Dylan. I'm assuming we've met previously since you're in love with me.
Yes.
That's not my character, right?
Right.
We're not doing the direct conversation.
That's in character line.
Yes, the way I had thought about it before, Christo, and you tell me if this might have been off base, because it was basically that your twin brother had been killed in training, and I think while your brother was there in training, he had met you often as you visited up until that point where your brother was killed in the training event by Peerless Falcon. And after that point, he has only been able to greet you in passing. Mm-hmm. Always like very seeming like he wants to say more than he ever ends up actually saying. So, and that follows right now because he after that he leans in a little bit, like has other things he might want to say, but then sort of pulls back and says, "I would like to thank you, Harmonious Fox, for your father's hospitality. I was not expecting to be in the household itself, and I am very grateful for his hospitality and by extension yours."
Oh yes. Oh you're much nicer than the other one that came.
That would be Gia, my fellow prince. He's very serious, and he is very, very dedicated.
If one were rude, one might even call him haughty. But I am not. And she waves a fan in front of her face.
And there's at least the briefest spark of pleasure at the thought of other people finding Jia as distasteful as Delon does. And he says, I would like to speak with you and Ming at your earliest convenience. I have a I have a matter I would like your advice on, if you would be so kind. When you get the chance, I see you may be busy.
I'm free now. Broken Dancer, how about you?
As far as I know, I have no commitments right now.
And Harmonious Fox will realize that this is maybe her signal to leave and leave you alone, and she will head out and she will say, "Perhaps now we should take our break." And let's take 5, and when we come back, we'll have that conversation, and then we'll see what Casting Blaze is up to.
Joshua, I have a question for you about Ming.
Yeah.
If I understand from the photo, like it looks like Ming habitually wears like a half mask type of thing. As just generally, is that true?
Yeah, I had thought of her as having an actual scar, kind of like a cut or a burn or something. Um, and so you can see like the edges of the scar around her eye patch thing.
Okay, because I was thinking like if there was any sort of family resemblance that might become apparent if she like suddenly one day removed the mask, like if like took off that half mask and like would that be something that like would set off a moment of revelation? Do you think?
I think so because she actually has two eyes. She just wears that as her disguise. So I think it would be like very obvious if she was to take off she was to reveal her identity.
Right, and if she removed the mask, that he would notice like the family resemblance there, maybe.
Hmm.
Okay.
I think that makes sense for sure.
Okay, cool. I was thinking about that, and I was like, I wonder if that's the case. Because I remember us establishing that she was the elder sister, but I didn't know like how much family resemblance there was. So, okay, that's good to know. Thanks.
Hmm.
You could have a birthmark in an embarrassing place that only she knows.
The sign of the butterfly.
That would fit. That would be hilarious.
So Delon, you've asked Broken Dancer and One-Eyed Ming to have a private conference with you. And now you're in the magistrate's household in the magistrate's garden here, and you have some time to speak with one another privately. What do you say to them?
He says, I believe that there may be some hidden danger in this situation that you may or may not be aware of. Broken Dancer, Ming, I have become aware that at least one group of notorious thieves, the Thunders, may be attempting to engage in some sort of infiltration of the magistrate's household or perhaps the town itself by posing as guards. And I know that I must be honest with myself. My observational skills when it comes to spotting that sort of deception is not what I wish it were. But you are both two of the savviest people that I know, and I would appreciate it if you were able to offer some assistance to me in spotting any sort of activity of that sort, and so that we may stop any sort of violent intervention in the ceremony. So that I may show my master that this responsibility was something that I could have managed without the extra assistance that he sent.
And I think Broken Dancer will say, of course, Dylan, that there's no after what happened after the past and how supportive you were after that tragic accident. I am in debt to you, and I will do what I can to help you. I will know everything you need to know.
And he focuses a little bit too much. It's just, thank you, Broken Dancer. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your presence here, as unexpected as it was. It was indeed fortunate.
Yes, the revealing moonlight sect came to help with the situation, and we are more than happy to serve you, Delon.
Your service and your friendship are much appreciated. Now I don't wish to take up any more time. I know I must greet my master when he arrives, and I should go and speak to Gia as well. Inform them that I have arrived.
And that seems like the moment that you will see coming into the garden Peerless Falcon and his first student, Gia. And this is just as you're about to say something, Broken Dancer, you're about to say something more, and you will see Peerless Falcon. You remember that day. And he comes in and he says, Delan.
And Delan stiffens and turns. Master.
Does he recognize you, Broken Dancer? What do you think?
Sure, I think it's more interesting if he does.
Broken Dancer. It has been a number of years.
It has, but it seems just like it was yesterday.
For me as well. A student of such promise who failed in such a disastrous way. It hurts me to the core.
It must indeed, because of course the failure of a solid student is actually a reflection of poor teaching skills, some would say.
I understand. I take your meaning.
I think that might be a hearts and minds. I think I just like slapped him.
Yeah. Now let's have you. Are you trying to get him to overreact? You're kind of trying to provoke him.
Not really provoke.
Here's the thing: is he's a little bit higher scale than you, even socially, right now. So I think he is not necessarily susceptible to your words.
Oh, okay.
I would if this would be the kind of place where casting Blaze, because of his special ability, would do that. But he knows he has the high position here. Has a respected order that serves him. Your comments are the mutterings of a girl.
So maybe then what I'm actually doing is studying.
Good question.
His
I like
reactions,
that.
because so I'm provoking him to test out his emotional responses.
Let's have you roll study, and then we're going to see what Ming thinks.
Oh wait, what? I have to decide what I'm rolling with first. I think this. I think I'm being manipulative.
Okay.
Ooh, and that is a 10.
That is a 10. So you have 2 hold.
So I don't really need to learn a person's scale, do I? Or do I need to? Is that like the first step for me then, being able to understand his technique?
You would have to see him fight or fight him to start that.
Okay. But I'd have to use a hold on that, correct?
You don't have to. So you wouldn't have to do the hold. If you see him fight or demonstrate, then you'll just have done that.
Okay.
This is usually the learned person skills when you meet somebody and you have no idea what their relationship is to you, but you kind of know this guy is probably a higher scale than you.
Right. Then I think the first one will be that I want to ask a question about a person to understand the means of manipulating him.
Sure.
So I guess I'm looking for, what would it be?
You want to know?
Well, that's what the whole emotional game was, to try and find an emotional weakness related to his students. So I've got Zhao there, I've got Dylan there, and then we've got my dead brother all sort of in play in this. So I'm watching for the reactions to all of them to understand what the connection is with this teacher.
Dylan is a tool. Dylan is a tool and a weapon that Peerless Falcon is manipulating and honing to use for some purpose. He watched. It's not the teacher-student relationship. Dylan believes it is. but Peerless Falcon is very odd in the way that he interacts with Delan there. Does that seem like a fair answer for that?
Mhm.
What's your second hold spent?
I have a question, if I might, that might make this really interesting. Can you declare something on the study move, Lowell?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's one. There's a declaration is possible. Yes.
With Gia right there, could the training accident have involved Gia?
That certainly would be if Christo wants to use it as a declaration.
I think we've got enough antagonism there already. Without that, although I like the idea.
Delan just wants his conscience clear when he kills Gia.
Oh, I think I can arrange that anyway. Dancer has a plan for that. Don't worry. Declaration. Yeah, I can't think of anything right now, and I don't want to hold anybody up.
Once let's have you keep one hold.
Yeah.
We know in our head that you'll learn or declare something about Peerless Falcon. He'll turn to you, Ming, and he says, "Have we met? You look familiar."
Yes, I have one of those faces, especially for people missing an eye. We all look alike. But no, we've never met.
Oh, no offense was intended at your disfigurement.
Oh, none taken. I've lived with this for many years. But I have heard of you by reputation.
You have me at a disadvantage. What is your name?
I am One-Eyed Ming, at your service. Like Book and Dancer here, I'm a member of the Revealing Moonlight sect.
A fine wushu organization. Your dedication to information is admirable.
Yes, perhaps we crossed paths without knowing it in the past. You know, there's always information to be traded and purchased.
I will certainly keep that in mind. Now, I must take away my student Delan, as he has work to do.
That saddens me, but Delan, I understand. You have work to do. Let's speak again soon.
And I want to cut from there because there is always a possibility that Casting Blaze has some moves to interfere with that, or we can continue on with the household soon. I can throw some things that way. What do you think, Casting Blaze?
I mean, that's the thing is that.
Well, let me give you a potential hook that you can take as you might in one way or another.
Sure.
That as you were there eating with Zhang and Moonsworn Heart, you will see a trio of Wulin warriors come in, clearly well known to Zhang Copper, and they seem to be friends. And they come in and they introduce themselves. Their leader is named Razor Eyes Gongsong. And this young man, who, if you're watching at home, will realize is clearly a woman disguised as a man, says, I've heard much about you, Casting Blaze. Are you in here to help with the protection details?
It does sound like that, yes.
I know that the magistrate has gathered a number of notable heroes. I understand that the members of Great Sun Society have arrived. Certainly a Peerless Falcon and a couple of his students, Delan and Ja, both there at the household of the magistrate.
That is interesting. And I think I'll turn to my two most hospitable friends and say, If you would be so kind as to excuse me, I know of Delon, and it would be good to speak with him again.
Certainly, Shane says, "Oh, we would be all right finding your way there. Should I send one of them in?
And I kind of turn to the other three, and I go, "You did say the magistrate's office, correct?"
Yes, yes.
Having one of them come with me might be for the best.
And Razor Eyes Gong Sung says, I'll take you there. I owe a debt to Zhang, so I'm always happy to help one of his friends.
Oh, thank you. And I'm like doing everything I can not to focus on the word friend every time it's dropped. I'm like, oh, come on. But also just like, nope. Not going to worry about that. So yes, I will take that opportunity and go with Razor Eyes Gong Sung to the magistrate's office.
And they will ask you a little bit about yourself as you go along. How do you describe yourself to them?
I mean, I think I just kind of go for that sort of specific vagueness of like, I'm just a traveler who tries to help in any way he can. It's and I think that there's something specific he's actually dancing around, which is he wants to make sure that he doesn't mention from his own viewpoint what happened with the Frost Hearth Palace.
Okay.
He just doesn't. I don't think he's fully ready to deal with that association.
But there is a moment as you kind of are just about to arrive at the magistrates, and we've been chatting very amicably with Razor Eyes, and he says, I can tell that you bear a strong affection for Zhang.
Yes, it is. He sees me. We're close, I think. Perhaps not in the way that I would like, but we are. If we are close and I can protect him, then I believe in this life that is what I must settle for.
And he pauses and he goes, I take your meaning. But circumstances change.
Yes, well, I find it best not to hold one's breath. Life comes quickly.
It does. And sometimes obstacles are cleared out of the way. Here, we're at the magistrates.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I guess I'll offer if he wants to actually join me going inside, because I think I start to go in and then remember the last time I walked in through these doors, they tried to arrest me. It would be very unwise to just walk back in again.
Certainly I know someone who can lead you through if you wish. And,
that would probably be best. I do not want to cause any more alarm or agitation any more than is necessary.
And I think then we bring the scene, we kind of then cut back. Peerless Falcon is just about to kind of take Delon away to remove him from the scene. And you will see that lieutenant that you met earlier, and this very well dressed young wuxia warrior man, and then Casting Blaze come in and kind of, they're suddenly there on the scene at the same time. You will see that Razor Eyes Gong Sung does kind of start when he sees who's in the garden. Like, clearly there's something about who's here, startles him. And he will very quickly say, well, here you are, Casting Blaze. I must return. Your friend has very good wine, and I wish to make as much use of it as I can.
I understand. Is there any way I can quickly roll a study roll?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I'm already just like, we've been talking very amicably, and so I feel like I'd notice. So I'll roll with water and okay. That's a 10.
There's a 10. You've got 2 hold. What do you want to know?
All right. Let me really quickly look at the move. So I want to. I think the first question I have is, who in this situation has startled Razor Eyes Gong Sung?
When Razor Eyes Gong Sung saw One-Eyed Ming, they reacted like, why are they here?
Oh. Okay, I know what my second hold is.
All right.
Razor Eyes Gong Sung. Who is she?
Oh, well, that's very clearly Wither and Gaze, your sister.
Okay, cool.
Very clearly understands who you're in love with. Is very clearly going to help you.
Oh, that help is going to go so. I don't know. We're going to find out.
All right.
But I think on that note, I'm like, oh, cool. Okay.
Delon, you look and you see, and you haven't seen Casting Blaze in a long time. Certainly, you didn't see him in a tavern or an inn earlier yesterday. Peerless Falcon clearly steps back to kind of nod and maybe recognizes Casting Blaze. Does he? Has he met you before, Casting Blaze?
Has he?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Yes, of course he has. I do think not just from the one time, but like we've met before and interacted. Otherwise, I don't think I would know what I know.
Casting Blaze.
And Delon turns and looks, pleased to see you.
Yeah, and of course we do get a flashback to you, Casting Blaze, seeing Peerless Falcon at the inn earlier.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because the flashback, there's just kind of this look of recognition, and I think from previous Casting Blaze had let his guard down and like just kind of was like had this look of like I know things, and this one is very much just like the smile is back up, and he's like. It is a wondrous surprise to see so many of the nice faces that I've come to know.
Delon, says Peerless Falcon, we have business, but certainly if you wish to stay and converse with your friends.
He says, Master, if I may briefly greet my newly arrived friend, and then I will follow you for our business.
We will speak in my chambers later. And he bows. Gia bows just ever so slightly. Just the minimal required to nod to the 4 of you, and they'll head off, leaving just the 4 of you in the garden.
Oh, well, this is a first.
So what? Sorry, I missed the last part. What did they do? They headed into the house?
They headed in. They left the 4 of you here in the garden to speak.
Okay, I had a thought about the last detail, the last hold that I have.
Okay.
Can I make the detail that something in their motions, because Broken Dancer is a dancer. I guess Falcon, the relationship between Peerless Falcon and Zhao was Peerless Falcon and Zhao are not just teacher and student or master and whatever the lower ranking is, that there is actually a love relationship involved there.
Absolutely. And that is wildly inappropriate. the legendary story Flying Fox of Snowy Mountain by Jin Yong, turns around that is not allowed. Master student love relationships. Okay, yeah, you will catch that emotion, a glance, the way they hold themselves as they head off.
Let me ask Peter, what is our relationship? Seeing as I'm in love with you, do you even know who I am?
Okay, see, the question that came to my mind immediately, because you're known for disguise, is who did I meet? Like, who do I know? Do I know One-Eyed Ming, or do I know one of your disguises, and somehow through that guise, that's how you know me? I wanted to get your input.
Oh, that's nice.
I think that you would know me as One-Eyed Ming. I think I've worn this disguise for a long time now.
Okay, cool. Then I'm totally happy with that. I guess my thought is that I think even just based off of kind of where the two of us are at, I think we've crossed paths on even a few occasions. And it's not, I don't think some of those excursions have been for short periods of time. I think it's been like sort of this thing where like, I think in the back of my mind, it's like, I wonder if, and then I always get like extremely sidetracked into like something else. And by the time I come back, I have no thought in my mind of like, well, there was that one thing earlier. So I think that we certainly have, from my perspective, an acquaintanceship approaching friendship.
Yeah, I think that works really well. Your heart is still bound, so to speak. So even if there was room for us, it wouldn't be possible, at least not at this point. But I think One-Eyed Ming is extremely excited to see you, and she moves forward more quickly than you would expect in this kind of situation, and kind of comes forward and says, "Casting Blaze! Oh my goodness, what a surprise! You are a sight for sore eyes. Have you come to help with the golden shirt?"
And I think, this is clearly like the first I've heard of that. And so I just kind of like widen my eyes, but very quickly, like, just kind of like almost just like try and relax them a bit and just go, yes, absolutely. Because I think in my mind, I'm just like, what? And then I'm thinking like, does that have anything to do with why I was actually brought here? And I'm like already just kind of doing like conspiracy bingo, just like, do these things match up? And at the same time, just going like, yes, of course. I assume that's why, and I think I go ahead and open up the gesture to all three and go, is this why all three of you are here?
And I think at this point, like Delon sort of like, leans forward and says, I was charged with part of the security for the shirt. And even though they have their own business, they had graciously offered to assist me in protecting the shirt in the ceremony.
Okay. And I think I go ahead and put a hand on Delon's shoulder and just say, they chose wisely if you are in charge of its protection.
Oh, no, I'm certainly not in charge, but I'm here to assist. I was under the impression that I would be the only representative of the Great Sun Society here, but apparently this was far more important than I was initially led to believe. And both Peerless Falcon and Gia have, seen fit to appear. And he bristles a little bit under that. Like you know that because you've known him a long time. Like you can see that bristle that he usually gets when he talks about those two at the same time.
Yeah.
Like he resents being he resents being passed over, even though he's pretty sure she is probably a better warrior. He still resents being passed over a little.
Yeah, and I think I'm just gonna kind of give you a nod and just try and say you don't need to worry yourself with this as much as you think you do. But if it helps, I think you are absolutely cut out for this, and I know you'll be able to handle whatever comes your way, even if it's a whole large group of bandits at a tea house.
I think
It is very interesting. You should mention that, because I did encounter many bandits at a tea house, and I was able to defeat their leader. And it seems the others scattered before I was able to confront them. But their leader is currently in the magistrate's jail.
Well, that is good news.
Broken Dancer,
for this conversation.
Go on.
I think I misunderstood something. Are you thinking that Zhao and Peerless Falcon are here because you are not adequate as a guard?
He actually, you can tell that he probably does think that. He really does think that. But he's also trying to put a better spin because he doesn't want to believe that, but he thinks it. So he says, "Oh, of course not."
I'm going to pause here. Let me pause here for a second, because I think that Broken Dancer just jabbed you in the inner conflict.
Yeah, I've been thinking that was coming for a while.
So let's have that roll, and then the good news is you get to mark XP, and then I'm going to have Broken Dancer go on.
Because that was not my intent, but okay.
So good.
That move's been coming for Delon like this whole time. I've been waiting for when it would strike. Okay, that is that's a 5 on the dice, and there's no way that even my best stat could have helped with that.
Then I think Delon, I want you to either mark your metal or your wood.
Let's see. I'm thinking it's my wood, because it's like my patience is flaying with the situation. Like he thinks that he's been insulted, but he doesn't want to believe his master would be that petty. But it's really pushing his boundaries with that.
And here's the thing about it: is when Broken Dancer says it, she has a tone, a manner, and sometimes she isn't thinking quite how it comes across. But when you hear it, you hear Broken Dancer say to you, "Well, clearly you're not good enough." That's what you hear.
Okay.
Oh man, that totally messed up my follow-on.
Yeah, that's and when Broken Dancer says her next thing, that's what's in your head, is that this woman that you love just absolutely dismissed you. Broken Dancer, go on.
So are you asking me to play into that then?
It's up to you. I'm just giving him the hard move perspective on it. You can play it however you want. I think the crushing feeling that he got is probably enough for the hard move if you don't want to lean into it.
Oh no, I wasn't, because I was actually trying to do the opposite. I was actually leading up to a support thing. That's why this is so disappointing. So following through on that, because I would assume that Delon could misinterpret everything anyway. So yeah, I think Broken Dancer.
You see Broken. You probably see Delon's face go like crestfallen, and maybe you realize.
Sure, and I think that would be then Broken Dancer say, "I was not saying that. Does nobody else here see it? Things just became so clear to me what happened back then. It's not that you are a worse student than Zhao. It's that Peerless Falcon is very close to Zhao. Their hearts perhaps are beating in too much synchronicity for guards that are supposed to be watching such a valuable item. I fear that they will be distracted from their tasks.
And I think that Delon sort of rises back up to that little bit of bait because he's still like smarting from that unintentional stab. He says, "No, of course they are close. Ja is his greatest student. Of course they would be close. It is natural and fitting that a friendship would certainly grow out of that training. It's perfectly normal." And he's obviously like pushing things forward in his mind to keep Peerless Falcon where he thinks he's supposed to be, but like there's cracks. Like he's stretching too far. He's reaching too much.
Let's have you roll that comfort and support, and then let's hear from a couple people who don't think Peerless Falcon is all that.
This could get bad, couldn't it? So you're saying I should roll comfort and support?
Roll comfort and support.
Okay. Let's see. And
what do you want to roll with?
That's what I was going to ask. And this was actually not me being manipulative. As strange as it sounds.
Actually,
when I'm trying to do a good thing, it just doesn't. I think fire, creativity, speed, passion. I think this was actually sort of just an emotional response.
Sure.
That makes it +1. And that's an 8.
It's an 8. So you may add a bond with a broken dancer. You may clear a chi, or there's a third thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, is there? Wait.
Let me see here. Yeah, it's just clear a chi or add a bond. So what would you like to do there, Delon? You're muted.
I think he will choose to clear his wood chi. I think the words, even after that initial, like his hurtful take on it, I think the rest of the words sort of softened that impact, and he's able to compose himself again, and it kind of restores his inner peace a little.
Ming, the door has been opened. We haven't heard from you in a few minutes. What do you say?
I think Ming at first focuses on the arm that Casting Blaze has put on Delon's shoulder, and so she puts her arm on Casting Blaze's shoulder and looks straight at Delon and says, "With our help, it will be easy for you to surpass your master's expectations. You will have no problem showing Ja and Peerless Falcon that you are greater than they ever expected. Perhaps it is time even for you to be your own master." I don't know if that should be like a roll or.
Do you think your hearts and minds trying to push him in a particular direction, or is it just you're laying that in front of him as a choice?
I think I'm just laying it in front of him right now.
Yeah. It doesn't have to rise to a level of move, so it's up to you.
And I think Delon, nods and says, "Thank you, my friends. Your friendship, it means very much to me, and I am grateful that even though fate has brought you here, you have chosen to throw in your lot with me, and that is not something I take lightly."
Ming, you had the chance there. There's Delon, your sibling. People have already spoken against Peerless Falcon, and yet you held your tongue. I think that's inner conflict. Because you did. You could have said something there, but you... Good news is you get to mark XP for rolling this.
Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna, dang it. I'm gonna have to roll metal again because I'm trying to control myself, right? Like,
Sure. I mean, keep in mind it's like an approach in Fate Accelerated. You can shape your response and your fiction to describe this. I mean, if it is about you focusing in your intent, that'd be Earth. I mean, you can weave it how you wish.
yeah, I think because that's kind of Ming's whole thing is waiting till the right moment, and she didn't feel like this was the right moment, so
Mhm.
maybe Earth makes more sense. Let's do
Okay.
that. That's a 10.
You keep yourself completely together. You
Whew.
knew what you were doing there. You knew that this was not the moment.
This was calculated for sure.
Yeah.
That's a private conversation.
And what about you, Casting Blaze? Because you've also got some issues there.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna try and not notice the fact that now there's an arm on my shoulder. But I think I'm just gonna kind of look at Delon and just kind of like search his face and realize. And I think all I'm going to say is just please remember that Peerless Falcon is not infallible. And while that may be the case for many, do not let your feelings of adulation cloud your judgment.
I have a mechanical question for you, Casting Blaze.
Mm,
Ming has put his hand on your shoulder, right?
yeah.
Her hand on your shoulder, right? Do you brush it aside? You've got to move.
No.
For that. That's why
No.
I'm asking.
Oh, I do, don't I?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Zero
do.
shit, no tears.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You don't have to. I'm just telling you.
I know I took the move. Thank you. I'm just like, oh man, okay. Yeah, I think and I think it's not like necessarily a like hard brush off, but it's just going to kind of be like I'm going to remove my hand from Delon once I finish what I'm saying, and then I'm just gonna kind of turn and sort of like let the hand fall away and sort of nod at One-Eyed Ming.
It is a reaction, Ming. We'll note that.
Yeah. But I do get a bond from that, and I can clear a chi.
Yes, look at that.
I'm sorry, but I'm not really. But I am.
Delon, do you think that's the? I mean, is there anything more to be said in that scene?
I don't think so. I think you saw Delon sort of at that last. You thought like normally Delon would sort of back up and straighten a little and state something positive about his master, but that facade has cracked a little. It's not broken, but there's a crack, and he's not rising to that bait like he would have. He just nods to his friends, and maybe that would be the fade out point.
Okay, so then let's cut there, and let's figure out how do we want to move forward to the next day. Do we want to still do some stuff in the dark of the night? Let's figure out that. Let's start with you, Broken Dancer. Oh yeah, and also let me pause here because Peter actually said something. Yeah, if you're like that move isn't working with the way I've conceived this character, we can switch that at the start of next session. Does that seem cool? I'm no problem with that, especially with a short-term game.
Yeah. It was something where I think I took the move because I like the sound of it, and now that I'm like in the character's headspace, I'm going. I don't know if he even sees it as rejection. He's more like, thank you, and then just doesn't read into it. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good. So, Broken Dancer. Here's Falcons on the scene. Information has been had. What do you think?
So tell me about this. It takes a thief move that I have. You can slip from any restraint or pass through any door or window. Can I pass through the vault door?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. And we know that the shirt in there is fake.
Yeah, you do.
So
it will be a question of getting to the vault. There will be an overcome to get there. But once you get to the vault, I mean, this is what you do.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe I won't reveal what I want to do with it when I get it, but that way. But so, yeah, no. So I think this is a conversation probably with Ming. Maybe it might be Casting Blaze might be in on this also because of what I'm planning on doing. Since Casting Blaze is a trickster, assuming I know this, and we're friends. It's established we're friends.
What do you think they think about you and your? If they were to ask you to go along on a heist, do you think that's something that they would think you would do, or do they think maybe that's not a great thing to ask you?
I think that for sort of each person, if they've asked me for something like that in the past, it takes a tiny amount of convincing. Not in the sense of like, oh, well, like, no worries, there'll be no danger or anything, but just the purpose of the heist.
Okay.
Like, as long as I know that ahead of time, then I'm like, okay.
The Broken Dancer, you're pretty sure you could talk him into it.
Yeah, I got an idea.
Okay.
So I think this might be a, maybe this is, I don't know, where would we have this conversation? But so the conversation, what I'm looking for is I'd probably approach Ming and Casting Blaze and say, I have an idea. We have information that the shirt in the vault is not the real shirt. And I think this might solve one of our problems at a minimum if we get that shirt. I think the question of who we use it on, Broken Dancer says, is a different idea. And we might want to argue about that later. But for instance, at this particular point, I think if we manage to get the shirt discreetly and sew it into Zhao's uniform underneath, it could solve many of our problems when that is revealed.
This is a fantastic idea, Broken Dancer. Let me just say that first. Why would we not go for Peerless Falcon?
I fear that
perhaps that's too hard of a target.
That is my concern. If we want to work on Peerless Falcon, though, I think we have a second option. If just by timing things well and paying attention to the music that comes out of his chambers, we may be able to arrange it so that somebody like Harmonious Fox were to enter fortuitously or unfortuitously and catch them showing some sort of passion that is perhaps not appropriate.
Oh my. This would definitely solve many problems.
We could start with that one because that might be a very entertaining distraction.
That's a good point.
Casting Blaze.
Yeah, they both turned to Casting Blaze.
Yeah. I was just letting that conversation play out and going, and then I'm just gonna kind of look over at Broken Dancer and go, if the golden shirt in there is a fake, where's the real one?
think One-Eyed Ming will answer, well, it is being kept somewhere safe, of course, at Zhang Copper's. Not knowing the connection, I have no reason to withhold this information. So,
Casting Blaze and Broken Dancer.
I think this is an eyebrow quirk from Broken Dancer. I'm like, oh, how interesting. I haven't seen Zhang in a long time. Have you, Casting Blaze? Maybe I need to, and this is, I think, perhaps Broken Dancer taking a swipe at Casting Blaze. Maybe I need to make a call on Zhang and see how he's doing.
Oh, yes, I'm sure he'd love to speak to his other dearest friend.
Oh, I like to think that we're more than just friends.
Yes, well, I know of at least one person who would not like to know that.
Really? Are you saying there's a competitor? Oh, this gets more interesting all the time.
I'd love to say that there's another competitor. It would mostly be false because that would mean that we'd have any chance. What I mean is, and I kind of like look over at One-Eyed Ming just going, should I say it with her right there? And I'm like, wait, why do I care? And I just go, he's currently betrothed.
Well, that is very disappointing. Although I guess some people don't live as long as they expect.
And I think I just kind of accidentally break out into a smile like, and I'm just like, I'm going to ignore that comment because I did just have a conversation with them earlier and they are supposed to be two of my dearest friends, even though one of them, okay, you guys know the whole complication. You were there. And I think I just kind of go,
Did I have an internal conflict there?
Let's see. I think that I don't know. I think because Casting Blaze has already hit this a couple of times tonight, and you're not directly confronted by Zhang is when you'll be rolling that. So I think this is more teasing.
Okay, cool. And I think I'll just kind of look. We'll have time to address the specifics of whatever either of us do about this. After all, we are friends. Says that almost with the same distaste that he said it, like about, unintentionally to withering gaze about Zhang. And he just kind of goes, I'm for this plan. But past this, anything... Hold on a moment. If the golden shirt, if Zhang is, that might be why Moonsworn Heart thinks he's in danger.
I think One-Eyed Ming, hearing of Casting Blaze's love for Jing Copper, should probably roll inner conflict.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because I did not know about that ahead of time.
Did not know, and that is out in the open, right in front of it.
I'm thinking Broken Dancer needs to change her name to Breaking Hearts.
Yes, you are working people over here.
Also, One-Eyed Ming did not necessarily know how ruthless you were, perhaps. Yeah, I'm going to roll water.
Okay.
That is a 3.
So,
yeah,
Ming, go ahead and mark water.
So I have to leave the scene, correct?
And I think, yeah, you definitely have to leave the scene. You've got to get out of there. You've got to run away.
I think I slam back the wine that I'm sure we're drinking, and I say, when the two of you are done discussing this absurd side dalliance, come get me and we can get some real business done. And I storm out. It's probably like way too loud, so now maybe even drawing some undue attention to this conversation.
And we will cut to a hatted figure in a corner. And this is out of eye line of anybody, but we see the figure look up, and we can see that it is Razor Eyes Gong Sung from earlier. And we see her watch you leave. She tosses coins on the table and moves out. I actually think we're going to stop here because we are going to set up for next time. We know that there are things on the table. We've got plans that will roll out, and we're going to start next time with Delon, and then we're going to come and figure out where everybody else is in the situation. Does that seem fair? I would like to dole out XP, and then I would like to do stars and wishes if you don't mind. So let's walk through this. Casting Blaze, I think we hit both of your entanglements tonight, didn't we?
Yeah, unexpectedly on the second one, but definitely both of them.
4 XP then. You get 3 for the one you highlighted and 1 point for the other one.
Sweet.
Broken Dancer, I think we give you 3 of your 4, right? Because we didn't get a chance to get Silver Song out there, unless you think that some of your reactions were colored by that to Ming.
Oh, the only one that was colored was when I was suggesting that for Ming doing this, that might, and bringing this shirt to Silver Song was what we were talking about. That would, I had said that might raise Ming's standing in Silver Song.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I'll give you the 4.
Okay.
And then Delon, I think we definitely got your 4 points there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And One-Eyed Ming, you as well, 4 points. And we'll check in again at the beginning of next session if anybody needs to adjust, revise, change their things. Swap out moves, you can do that, and entanglements, you can do that as well. So let's just do a quick stars and wishes. Stars, things that you dug about other people's play, about the session, things you want to point to. We'll do all the stars first, and then we'll do wishes about things you like would have liked to have seen more of, or things you definitely want to see for next time, or those kinds of questions and things. So I'm going to go in the same order that I've been trying to do tonight, and we'll start with you, Peter.
All right.
Stars first.
Yes. Cool. Quick question. Is there any sort of limit, or can I just because I know
you do
cool.
you.
Cool. Yeah. I will. First off, I just wanted to say real quick, star to you, Lowell, and sort of side star to Agatha, because this is such a fun and interesting game, and I'm so immediately invested in this that just, oh God, so much emotion tonight, and it was all I could have asked for. Chris, oh my God. I love Delon so much, and the thing about Delon that gets me is the fact that I think the specific star to when you admitted towards the end that there was a little bit of growth, that it was starting to crack. And because I'm so used to seeing sort of the student who's like, my master can do no wrong, and it gives me a little bit of hope that we might actually be able to break through eventually. I mean, I'm sure we will, but right now it makes me excited for that. Christo, I love Broken Dancer, but specific star to our first actual interaction of this romantic entanglement we found ourselves in, because I mean, I haven't really gotten to play my character as being too sassy. He's been keeping up his guard, and I love getting the chance to just be like, oh, yeah, of course, we're friends. Yeah. Just like that. And Joshua, Oh man, like I really like One-Eyed Ming. I feel like I've said that about all the characters, but I think it says something when I like a character enough that upon actually using one of my moves in my playbook, I then go, I think I might need to change this, not just for my own sake, but because that hurt me to do that to your character specifically. So I'm very much like, yay, we create a bond, but I'm like, I felt so I'm excited to see where that goes. And who knows? We've got 2 more sessions to figure out where this is going.
Yeah. I love melodrama so much. I just love it. Christo, stars?
I love the social interactions that are happening. I mean, we didn't have a single fight this time, did we?
Nope.
And I thought that was really, we had so much fun with it. I think all the political, social, romantic manipulations that broken dancers doing played into some of them completely unintentionally, mind you, and through no fault of hers, right? That wasn't her fault that Dylan failed that role, but but that was interesting to see played out. A star, so actually until Peter reminded me, I forgot that you wrote this. So I mean, I knew that, right? But we got into the game, and I forgot about it. You're running the game, and I'm used to you running games, and then I realized that there's not even really the sensation of play, and you ran it so naturally, and it's so definitely a star for you on that, because it feels really natural. I'm not quite sure how they play into it. I realize, is that when we get a negative, then we get one of those conditions, or?
So what the things on the side, like the reckless, alienated, and scattered, that's more of a, hey, if you want to play what that means to you,
got it.
It's very much a guideline. Those are one of the things that's probably going to be removed from the character sheet, because I think they are a little distracting, the negative ones. Where I think, or at least put off a little bit down to the side, so you can say, hey, if you have your fire marked and you want to think about what that means in terms of your play, you can use this. Some people do, but I would say that most people don't. Most people already know what their character feels and will go with that.
Okay, then that's fine, because I would have played into that. But I actually like having them there, because that gives you good contrast to it, to see, okay, so if it's marked, then these are what that potentially could be. Let's see, and and Ming, I love the way Ming played into everything. And I just forgotten, because there was one particular thing that I really liked that Ming did. Oh, Ming running away. Anytime I failed internal conflict, I love the way that Joshua played out what that would be, and it fits so well. So that kudos to you on that, because I think you handled that really well, so that it was very natural part of the story. So thank you. I think that's probably enough.
Okay, Chris.
Well, definitely, I'll echo what Peter and Christo have already said. I mean, this is an awesome game. It's really fun. I'd watched a few Wuxia movies before, but like I didn't know how much fun it would be until we got into it, and it's awesome. So definitely stars to you and Agatha for putting everything together and getting all this stuff to work together like it does, because it sang tonight. I would not have thought that again I would be like feeling more beaten up in a session about talking and feelings than I would in a session about huge monster combats. But man, this this was hard. It was hard watching everybody else have those hard conflicts. It was hard watching Delon have his inner conflict. It was great. I mean, all the back and forth with Peter. I mean, that scene in Jane Copper's house, all of that was just that was perfect. Like that was awesome. Every time that Ming tried to blew those interconflict rolls, like Christo said, that was perfect. I mean, I could not have conceived of those going better for a failed roll. I mean, that was just that it worked so well. And Broken Dancer is like, she just comes off as the perfect foil to like to like every other character. She is such a polar opposite to Delon and how he operates that it's almost funny that Delon is infatuated with her. Like it's kind of like its own little relationship comedy. It's like, look, he's so earnest and ridiculously like forthright, and then like the person he's in love with is like the most Machiavellian person in this entire ensemble. It's great.
Awesome. Joshua?
Yeah, I will echo the praises of the game, just because I think it fits so well. Like, there's so many little details that remind me of these movies and TV shows and stuff. And I'm not that familiar with it, but I could instantly see, oh, that's what we're pulling from. Like the disguises, the fact that they like always work, and these just ridiculous things. Yeah, it's a thing I haven't really seen in a game before, I think, and it's really refreshing. And I also just love, Lowell, how you're constantly bringing in all of our entanglements. Like everyone who I wanted to see show up has shown up, and it just makes things juicier and juicier. Like even the ones I didn't expect to see have shown up and made things even juicier. So definitely stars for that. And I think everyone has done a really good job of going in unexpected directions with their characters, or things that I wasn't expecting to be part of what we talked about in the first episode, I guess. Broken Dancer is like so far off the deep end of the like Machiavellian thing, and I love how emotional Casting Blaze is being without being emotional, like hiding it. So really good job with that. And then this whole relationship with Peerless Falcon and Delon is really, really deep. Like I can feel it as we're playing through it, and so I'm really glad that we're all invested in like making Delon and Peerless Falcon almost have this conflict that Delon does not want. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
I want to say thank you, everybody, for leaning into those inner conflict roles. And being willing to go and get them and have them generate things. And this is such a good session. Sometimes the sessions really hum when you don't have fights, when you just get a chance to dig into those relationships, and we get to mix up the connections. And I love that. And I love what you did with the study move with Peerless Falcon there, Christo. I thought that was, I mean, that's what that move is about introducing a game-changing element that shifts everything, and a discovery that we make. And I thought that was really good.
It was meant to be Machiavellian, because I was thinking, okay, that'll help me with the stealing of it, because we're weakening the guards. It gives me a weakness, and it gives me a chance to what I thought I was going to do, support Delon. So that didn't work, but
it's good. Let's just go around. If anybody has wishes that you want to mention, things that you would like to see more of, or things that we didn't get to, or anything like that. Peter, let me start with you.
Yeah, I think my only wish is a very minor one. Just I want there to be a little more action next time. And it's not like it was actually missed this session. I enjoyed all of the interactions and everything, and it was never. I even appreciated that, like, the one opportunity I might have had to fight, I chose to get the heck out of there. So really, it's just, I feel like it's a wish that's already built into the next session. Like, any way that this goes, I see there being some sort of, like, cool wuxia action elements involved, so I'm excited.
Absolutely. And I think that is fair. I did feel a little bad that I undercut your half circle travel by giving you that sequence, and I probably should have checked in with you if you wanted to use that, or giving you the opportunity to say that at that point.
I would agree with that, but I also appreciate in a sense that although I didn't get the chance to use it, it provided both me and the story with sort of like side introducing not only someone to like listen to me, but also to like have this separate conflict that kind of came in that way. And so, you know, I'll certainly make more of an effort to use it in the next 2 sessions. But as it was tonight, I didn't see a problem with it.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Christo, wishes?
We gotta have that triangle with Jean Copper. We have to play that one out.
You on stage with Zhang and with casting and everybody.
And I have a question. So Ming and I were assigned the task of stealing the shirt, or did we come up with that ourselves? As in, did Ming and Broken Dancer come up with that?
I think you came up with that yourself.
So it's not an assignment.
I don't think Silversong even knows Ming is here. Is my headcanon, but
yeah. Now, I think there was you heard about this. You are kind of thieves, and some of you are literally thieves, and this is a great opportunity.
Sure, but I guess where I'm going with this is theoretically, we wouldn't have to steal the shirt if we decided against it for some reason.
That is correct.
Okay. Because it wouldn't be even going against clan order. Although we could do that even if it was against the clan orders, but we have that option.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And for the move, study. So if it has to, the one where you create a detail has to be applied to what you were studying. So if you're studying a person, the detail has to apply to that person. If you're studying a place, it has to apply to the place.
The study move, when we frame it, it's I want to look at the scene or I want to do this. And then you can ask questions about person. You can ask questions about the scene. You can declare. I mean, it basically has to be on the scene that you're looking at. So if you say to me, you're looking at Peerless Falcon, when you declare the detail, you might declare something else happening in the scene. I have no problem with that. It's open that way.
But can it also be a flashback?
I hadn't considered that. Yeah, I would think of
alien here. So.
I would absolutely think so. Yeah, a flashback to bring something up would absolutely be reasonable in that case.
Okay. Cool. And I have a way to make this even more devious.
Okay.
So I'll save that for next session. Though.
All right. Chris, anything you want to add as wish?
I don't know if it will be next session material or not, but eventually I would love to be in a position to use that hopeful apprentice move, because I just love the idea of that scene playing out.
Well, and certainly what I want to try next time is to get you at least a chance to use that proud youth if you want to, get you in a position for that.
And that Bladeheart thing is really cool too.
Oh, Bladeheart has changed the course of campaigns, so it's a good one. Last but not least, Joshua, last thoughts, any wishes you want to point to?
Just wanted to mention I'm really looking forward to Withering Gaze. I think that's going to be great. I am probably going to change my Everlasting Chivalry because I don't think it really fits my character anymore.
Sure, absolutely.
So I'll figure out what I'm going to change that to. But,
yeah, we'll check in beginning of next session, and if anybody wants to shift their moves, and also if you got an advance, you can do that. If you want to know where the advances are listed, what you can take, that's listed on the Other Moves tab. If you don't want to take a move, there's some other options here. Okay?
I was going to ask about that because I don't how many other people got that many, but so I have enough XP that I've actually, I guess, have made the point that I can do an advancement of some sort.
Yep. So basically you can add one to a chi. You can take a new move from your playbook. You can take a new move from another playbook, or you could come up with a custom move for your style.
What does a custom move for the style mean?
So a custom move would be if you wanted to come up with a move that represents what your style does in a conflict situation, or how your style reflects something you can do in the real world. I'll give you an example. In the podcaster thing, Eli, for his water style, wanted a custom move where he could actually take on more mooks, because mooks are usually a mob. And so he came up with a move where he could take on 2 mobs at the same time, of lower scale, which makes sense in the thing, or he could take on sort of simultaneously a mob and a named foe of his scale. Because usually when they work together, as we saw before, they become above your scale. So that was kind of an equalizer for that. You could take a benefit for a certain circumstance or other things like that.
Okay, and when you say added chi, is that adding?
You can take +1 to one of your chi. You can do that for each chi once.
Okay, so it's not getting me an additional checkbox so that you have to take 2 of those markings to have it deactivated. It's just it's adding to your attribute score. Okay.
No. Ooh, I hadn't even thought of having extra checkboxes. I'm gonna write that down.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty sweet. I'll think of that. All right, Chris, you said you had one more thing.
Yeah, I think it would be a pretty sweet scene if during this whole heist thing, Delon was basically bumbling around on the other side, like where they're trying to do this heist. He's trying to earnestly work security.
Okay, we'll see if we can't get that set up in some way.
Oh, you're so naive and cute, Delon. We'll have to. We've got the chinks in your armor though, and the 3 of us are probably going to take you over to our side.
I just want to see him do like the Inspector Clouseau act on that thing next time. That would be awesome.
You and Magister Yun. What? So there we go. All right. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to stop the broadcast there.